Roll the camera. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are featuring an interview.
Kia ora, and welcome to CTK 6 o'clock news. I'm Brielle Duren.
And I'm Vivian Lawrenson. In today's stories, a new crime wave is sweeping the country in the form of woolen graffiti. Scientists have invented an invisibility cloak. We help them find it. And the latest in weather around the country. But first, a story that will turn your world upside down.
If you think the world is getting more and more topsy-turvy, it turns out you're right. Builders in Germany have built an upside-down house, and before you think they may have read the plans upside down, they did it on purpose. The wacky abode was built as a tourist attraction, as well as being a comment on the state of the world. The house is 23 feet tall and rests on its roof and has steel beams in the attic. Inside the house, there are beds screwed into the ceiling, upside-down wardrobes, an upside-down kitchen, and even an upturned bathroom, though it's not known if anyone has ever tried to take a bath in it or go to the toilet. Normally, a house like this would take 3 weeks to build, but this one took over 4 months because workers kept getting confused by the strange angles of the walls. Many tourists visiting the house complain of feeling sick and dizzy after just a few minutes inside. We now cross over to our reporter, Alejandra Lopez, who's inside the house. How are you feeling, Alejandra?
Thanks, Brielle. I'm here with the owner of the house, Jesse, and I'm feeling upside down. So, Jesse, what made you decide to build this upside-down house?
Well, I did it for my blog, but mostly for popularity. Yeah.
Okay. What comment do you feel the house makes about the state of the world?
Girl, I don't know what you're talking about.
What are some of the challenges of living in a house where everything is upside down?
First thing, this is a warning. Do not put on your makeup in front of the mirror. All of it which is falling.
Okay, so how exactly did you build the house?
I don't know. The builders are right over there. Why don't you go ask them?
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Alejandra Lopez for CTK News. Back to you, Brielle and Vivian in the studio.
Thanks, Alejandra Lopez. Even watching that makes me feel like vomiting. And now for a story that is truly out of sight. Look out, Harry Potter. The world of science is catching up to the world of magic. Scientists in Europe have created a 3D invisibility cloak, which can hide objects by bending light waves. It has been found that light can be controlled using special tiny crystals that makes objects disappear. So far, scientists have made small objects, such as coins, disappear, but hope that it won't be long before they are hiding cars, planes, and even people. People have always dreamed of making themselves invisible, one top scientist says. The possibilities are endless, and we are very excited. However, since inventing the invisibility cloak, the scientists have been having trouble finding it. As soon as we put it down somewhere, it just disappears, the inventor of the cloak said. It appears that they are having trouble finding other things too, like their lunch, which they think may be underneath the cloak. What will this invention actually be used for? Hoping to see through the reasons behind the invisibility cloak. Here is our on-the-spot reporter, Justine Simone Alfreda Cassandra Rodriguez, with more on the story.
Hola, me llamo Justine Simone Alfreda Cassandra Rodriguez. Hello, my name is Justine Simone Alfreda Cassandra Rodriguez. And with me is Arlene Stewart, one of the scientists behind the invisibility cloak. Hi, Arlene, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
What made you want to invent the invisibility cloak?
I had two friends, Bob and Amanda, both of which are invisible. I wanted to become one with my fellow people I invented the invisibility cloak then.
Interesting. Can you show me how the invisibility cloak works? Thank you. What do you hope the invisibility cloak will be used for?
For all those weirdos out there who sit alone in the lunchroom, I want them to be one with their friends as well.
Okay. Is there anything you would like to add?
Hello, Mommy.
Well, that makes everything clear. Thanks for joining us. Back to you. Back to you, Vivian and Brielle.
Thanks, Justine. And now, how's this for an interesting yarn? A new wave of graffiti crime is covering the country, thanks to an underground gang known as the Midnight Knitters. These wool-waving criminals are covering tree branches and lampposts with small jerseys and scarves under the cover of darkness. Police say the knitted activities of the gang are illegal because their woolly crimes are being done on public property without permission. The popularity of woolen graffiti is growing, and more public objects are being wrapped up every night. But the problem is growing, police say, and warn that if the midnight knitters aren't soon caught, every tree, lamppost and traffic light in the country will be warmly dressed against the cold. The problem is spinning out of control. They're a close-knit group of dyed-in-the-wool criminals. We're stitching together a case, but it's not seamless. There is no real pattern to the crimes, a police spokesman said today. So far, the criminal knitters have escaped arrest and continue to pull the wool over the eyes of both the public and the police. We go now to a secret location with our investigative reporter, Mr. Dude Phillips, who has an exclusive interview with one of the Midnight Knitters gang.
Thanks, Brielle and Vivian. I'm Mr. Frankenstein, and joining me in this top secret location is a member of the Midnight Knitters gang. Hello, Will.i.am, and thanks for joining us. What led you into the dark underworld of knitted graffiti?
Well, when I was young, my grandma taught me how to knit. And I know what you're talking about, eh? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I'm a boy, so I can't really knit, eh? Well, just because I'm a boy doesn't mean I can't knit.
Do you see yourself as a criminal?
No, man, what you on about?
Apart from trees, lampposts and traffic lights, what else would you like to graffiti with your woolens?
Oh, that question. I like that question. Wooden tables? Yeah, because they get cold at night.
Okay. Don't you think you're a little bit too young to knit?
Wait, what you on about, man? Just because I'm too young doesn't mean I'm not allowed to knit. My grandma told me how to knit.
Okay.
Hey, what you on about? That doesn't mean... You're insulting me.
I got personal space issues.
Ladies and gentlemen,
thank you, Vivian and Brielle. And a good evening to New Zealand. Let's have a look at tomorrow's weather. Starting in the far north in Kaitaia. Look out for some pretty flash flooding and raindrops as big as your head. If you're going outside, wear a hat. Moving down to Auckland, there'll be a mix of fair conditions and unfair conditions. But those are the conditions and you'll just have to accept them. There will be no weather at all for the Bay of Plenty. It's taking a short holiday, but it's expected to be back for the weekend. In Napier and Hastings, the weather will sometimes be changeable and sometimes not. We have really no idea what will happen there. In the Taranaki, a mild depression brings with it a very dull day with no highlights at all. It'll be overcast and gloomy all morning, but things should cheer up by the evening. So don't worry, everything's going to be fine.
Wellington will have another capital day. There will be no wind at all, and the day conditions will be so pleasant they'll actually be extreme. In the top of the South Island, Kaikoura can expect to have a good day, meeting for lunch, going for a swim, and reading the newspapers. But try to stay indoors as the weather will be just terrible. A real mix for Christchurch, which will have some unreasonable rainfall, sensible wind, moderate thunderstorms, and some very angry snow. And in the lower south, Dunedin will be frosty, cold, unfriendly, and the morning when the sun will pop over for a visit. Everybody likes sun. That's all for me. Remember, if it's raining outside, that's the weather for you. Good night, New Zealand. Now it's back to the news desk with Brielle and Vivian.
Thanks, Pat Mahoney.
Well, that's all we have time for. We hope you've enjoyed this evening's broadcast. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again next time.
Until then, I'm Vivian Lawrenson.
And I'm Brielle Duran. From CTK 6 o'clock.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Goodbye.
E nohora.
Roll the camera. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. Roll the camera. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are featuring an interview with a very peculiar-looking gentleman.
Scene 1, take 1. Scene 1, take 2. Take 2.